welcome to another Battle of the Ports. This week we are taking a look at Navy SEALs by Ocean. Now we all know what I think of Ocean, so I won't go there in this video, but for those who don't know, Ocean Software was renowned for creating video games based on films and other licensed properties, quite often with less than average results. Navy SEALs focuses on Hawkins, recovering caches of Stinger missiles from Arab soldiers in the Middle East. The game received positive reviews upon release, with critics mainly praising the graphics, presentation and challenging gameplay. Well, let's see about that with the Amstrad GX4000 version. Well, the graphics are quite nice with some good use of colour. The stereo music is also pretty good as well. The game though is a whole different experience. The controls are stiff and unresponsive, which is a major issue when you're dealing with split-second timing in a game like this. The enemy cheats as they can shoot through objects but you can't. The one-hit death is bullshit when dealing with such stiff and unresponsive controls, and to add to the stress, there's a bloody time limit. Yeah, typical Ocean. The Commodore 64 version is next, and like the Amstrad GX4000, this was also a cartridge game. The gameplay in this version is quite different. You can now shoot through objects, as can the enemy, but you can no longer shoot while jumping. In fact, you can only shoot straight when standing. You can't even shoot when crouching. Didn't any of the developers who worked at Ocean actually play good games? Why can't you shoot when crouching? As for the controls, they're a little better than the GX4000 version, but not by much. The game looks fine for the Commodore 64 title, but maybe not as good as the GX4000 version. During gameplay you can either have sound effects or music, not both simultaneously as often was the case. So is this better than the Amstrad version? Not really. They're both pretty awful titles despite being quite different in how they play. The ZX Spectrum is the last of the 8-bit home computer ports, and again, it is quite different. This one shares more in common with the GX4000 version than it does with the C64. Shooting enemies is a lot more forgiving in this port, as you are able to shoot more frequently and shoot while jumping. Sadly, your character now takes major damage when dropping down 2 or more platforms. The animation is really nice in this version, but this comes at a cost of yet again unresponsive controls. Still, it does feel more fluid than the GX4000 and less floaty than the C64. But yeah, again, I wouldn't call this a good game. On to the 16-bit home computers with the Atari ST version. This sounds just like the GX4000 version when it comes to the music, but in mono. The in-game audio is vastly better though, with some speech samples and more realistic sound effects. I like the added details such as the enemies turning into a pile of ash when burned with the flamethrower. The animation is also pretty good and the game is vastly more responsive. Can't say I like it yet though. Next is the Amiga version, and rather than being just a direct Atari ST port, it's actually been arranged somewhat to make it more fair. Some of the enemy placements have been changed and your shot is now even freer. Sadly, there's got to be something wrong, and in this version's case, it's the jump. Well, let's be honest, the jumping mechanic in all versions is crap, but in this version it can be especially annoying as it seems to have a second delay from when you press the direction until the jump happens. We have one more version left to go. Can that be any good? On September 1st, 1991, Navy SEALs actually got a release on the Game Boy. Now this is really only a port by name, as the core game is vastly different. In this version, you have to just take out the bad guys. No bombs to be placed here. Basically, you just need to kill everyone or avoid getting touched by them while you make your way to the stage exit. That's it. No real strategy required with this one. Surprisingly, this is actually the best version of Navy SEALs, but also a very average game that scored only in the mid-range back in the day. And let's take a look at all those versions of Navy SEALs running side by side.